Your usefulness to our cause is the only logical course of action. You are a burden to the Alpha Quadrant. You have lived up your usefulness.
Peace, what's up everybody? It's your man DVSMI coming to you on another Devious Tuesday, and I hope you guys do not mind the late edition. I got a little tied up earlier, but I did not want to cancel the show, so I was like, let me just come in here a little bit later and chat with you guys. Where did I put that information that I wanted to give you guys? Okay, yeah, I might have to travel with me. Nope, I think I can do it from memory. Peace to Yvonne. Happy birthday. That was the #1 order of business, to say happy birthday to Yvonne. Brazen Muse. The Aries babies, we were out here running loose in our homes. But it's cool because I had a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Who else? Sean Reddick, happy birthday. Billie Holiday, happy birthday. There's quite a few more of my Aries friends whose birthday it is. If it's your birthday, make some noise. Put your information in the comments so I could go ahead and shout you out. Sheila Johnson, my birthday twin. Happy belated birthday to you. And everybody else from yesterday. It was bananas yesterday. So, if you notice the title for today, 525,600 minutes. And those of you who have seen the movie Rent know that, hey, those of you who have seen the movie Rent know that that's exactly how many minutes there are in one full year. Hey, neighbor, how are you? And Penny, happy early birthday. Your birthday is, what, the 18th, I think you said? So it's Aries out here, baby. We doing our thing. But 525,600 minutes, because it occurred to me, and if you follow me on Facebook and seen any of the posts that I posted lately, a post I put up recently, a year ago, if you had said someone died from the virus, nobody would have thought that you were talking about a flu virus or something like that. Nobody. Hey, Wanda, nobody would have thought that you were talking about something like that. And it's just amazing to me. And I hope everybody is taking inventory. Please do. You are going to need this context for the rest of your life, God willing. So much has changed in a year. For those of you who are club heads, and I know there's a bunch of people out there who are club heads, there's this song, and if you saw this on my post, on my Facebook page rather, you'll know where it came from now. Hey, Lisa Pearson. Oh, P.S. Everybody please share the video. We need some conversation in here because I want everybody's opinion on everything. But the post that I put up was lyrics from a song. If you know that song, it's called Earth is the Place That I Live. And the lyric, well, part of the lyrics, the singer goes, Earth is the place that I live. Love is the space that I give. Now, this song is, what, 20-something years old. Who thought that we would be living in a time where that is exactly what is going on? Hey, Nicole Jenkins, that is exactly what is going on. When I go outside now, I really don't recognize the planet. There's no other way to say it. Yesterday was my birthday. My nieces and nephews came over, and usually the first thing they do is run up and give me a hug, and they couldn't do that yesterday, even though it was my birthday, which is a weird thing. And to see 8-year-olds with masks on, Earth is the place that I live, and love is now the space that we have to give each other. You know, usually we used to say, if you invaded somebody's personal space, if you got a little too close in the supermarket, or you bumped somebody when you were walking down the street, excuse me. And now it's, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, and I've seen people have apologized to me, like, oh my God, I didn't mean to get into your space. I didn't mean to disrespect your social distancing. So Earth is the place that we live now, and love is the space that we have to give. And we really have to be mindful. And me, I'm one of those people. What's up, Benny? What's up? How are you, Yvette? I'm one of those people. It's an automatic thing for me when I see people that I've known for years, who I love, who, you know, I fellowship with. First thing I do is either, extend my hand to shake your hand or go to hug you, in certain circles. That's what the first thing we do. The first thing we do is go to hug, and now it's offensive. A year ago, going to hug somebody was how you showed them that you love them. And today, staying away from them is how you show someone that you love them. It's crazy. It's not crazy as in insane or it's a bad thing, but it's 525,600 minutes later, and this is where we are. If someone had told you that you would be walking around with a face mask every single day, you can't leave your house, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't walk in your doctor's office, you can't walk in your doctor's office, you can't go into Walmart, Home Depot to get anything. Well, if you're watching, depending on where you're watching this, in this area, in Essex County in New Jersey, in this area, it is mandated that if you are going into a place of business, if you are outside your home, you have to have a covering over your face. If it's not an N95 mask, if it's not some sort of ventilation mask, it has to be a scarf, a bandana, a t-shirt, a rag, something you have to have covering over your mucous membranes, your respiratory mucous membranes, in order to keep other people. It's not necessarily that we think that you are going to give something to me, but I need to make sure that I'm not giving it to you. And something that people don't, I'm not sure if people understand, and I think I mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again. We talk about to all my friends who have compromised immune systems for whatever reason, and we are now learning that means more, because a year ago, 525,600 minutes ago, had you said someone had a compromised immune system, immediately you think HIV/AIDS. Your secondary thought is maybe they have some other autoimmune disease, syndrome, deficiency ad infinitum. Hey, Lisa, Wamira, what's going on? Nicole Hill, Vicky Sunshine Martin, say hi to my babies. How are you, dear heart? I hope everything is well. 525,600 minutes ago, if you said that someone had a compromised immune system, it meant something different than it does when you say it today. When you say that someone is immune susceptible, it now means something completely different. I didn't realize that, having metal in my body made me more susceptible. Exactly. Cancer. That was the second thing. It depends. And I said this to a friend of mine the other day when I put up the post about a year ago, if you had said someone died from the virus, it had a different connotation. And a friend of mine said, it never crossed her mind. And I get it. In certain circles, depending on who you are and what your life is, that may not be the first thing. And I get that. But for my life, that's in the people that I know. And it's not just people who are gay. It's people who may have come through recovery. It's people who may have led a certain lifestyle. It's, for a bunch of different reasons. You can't just, it's no longer that pigeonhole. You can't do it anymore. And that's what I'm loving. That's the good part. And that's why I want everybody to watch, because tell my babies I love them. That was my little sidebar. Josiah and Sadia. Sadia, did she get back home? We'll talk later. But it's so many different things that and this is what's more interesting to me than anything. How quickly we accept it. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have the power for adaptation beyond what we think we do. If somebody had told you last year that you had to walk around every day with masks and gloves and everything like that, now some of you a little OCD. I know some of you personally, y'all would have been like, you know what? I'm with it. It ain't nothing. I'm already ready. I got boxes of gloves, face masks, and I walk around with a spray Lysol mini thing in my bag. But now that you have to, it is a mandate that you can't go into establishments unless you are covered so that you are protecting other people. You can't do certain things. That stores are now closed. Driving today, I had to go, to go get some things today. And it's a completely, y'all have been, for those of you who have gone outside, because remember, there are people who still have not been outside. So for those of you who have been, you know that it's different outside. It's a different feeling. And this is the other thing I need everybody to, it's not my need, but I don't want to shit on anybody. Pay attention. That's the one thing. And not for conspiracies, but pay attention, because everybody I've noticed isn't paying attention. We are I don't know if we're preoccupied with what's going on in the world and we're a little bit numb to it, that we aren't paying attention still to certain things. People should not be taken out. It gets rid of the headache, but feeds the virus. Okay, thank you for that. Hey, Barbara Tucker. Amanda, how are you? Beautiful. I can't wait until this is over, because you, me, and Still Waters have got to go hit somebody something somewhere and do something with some things and people and places. But hey, Belinda, a year ago, this was not what any of us could have imagined, would have imagined. Now, in other countries like China, they had but it was for different things. I think I've never been to China. But I think, they were used to it more so. It wasn't everybody, but, they had a heavy smog population because it's a very densely populated area. There's a lot of industry there because, we don't make anything here. It's all from China. So there was a lot of, industrial pollution. So there were people who walked around that way with the mask and everything already. But this mandatory situation, it's a different world. What are some of the things that is your hat for me? Everybody got to get their own crown sugar. I'm gonna just let you see that. But when you all have gone out, what are some of the things that, this is the other thing. Simple things like this. It's like all of a sudden, sometime, I don't know, I almost feel like we're on the precipice of Hunger Games. It's weird because people are just doing like some people are acting like the rules of society have completely stopped. And it's little things. And that's where it begins with the little things. And that's why we have to attend to the little things. You always have to attend to the little things. There's a show on TV called A Million Little Things. If you catch it, you might like it. But the reference is that it's always, if you don't attend to the little things, it's not the big things that break up a situation or make a situation bad. It's that you haven't attended to the little things on the way to that big situation. And now, here you are. What's up? Also, before I get any further into this, I need to to all of the people who have lost people, I want to extend my condolences. A friend of mine lost her mom today. I'm not going to say any names so that, they can have their anonymity and time to grieve. But, and many friends, mutual friends of, those of us who are watching. For those of us who are watching, we have mutual friends. And, some people have passed away that, were very near and dear to us. So I'm hoping in that vein that we continue after, because there's after. And one of the things that occurred to me earlier, last year, 525,600 minutes ago, if somebody had said BC, I'm not sure what that Latin term means, but most of us will say before Christ or some iteration thereof. But now it seems like it's going to mean before Corona. Like before the coronavirus, it was so BC is like going to be before Corona. To stay apart. The clerk's telling us to stay apart and shop right. Yeah, it's because nobody is prepared for this. Nobody is prepared for this. So patience is going to be a huge thing. And I try to remember every time I go into an establishment that's open, I try to remember to say thank you to everybody that I'm encountering. Please, thank you. Today, I forget what, I went to a few places, out trying to just take care of a bunch of stuff. And I was like, to the lady, thank you for being here. Or, you could be home. You could have, thank you. Thank you to the guy at the pharmacy too for being here, because listen, he didn't have to be there. He could have said, I'm not coming. and they set up stuff on the outside, and we, you know, try to keep the social distance and everything like that. But, you know, we do the best we can with what we have. The only thing I can say is just please be patient. Please be patient. The only thing I would ask of the businesses, and many of them are doing it, and I like that. I think it's great that many of them, you know, they have the pickup for the people who have ordered online, and then they have for the people who are there and they have questions and everything. The only other thing I can think of is like when you have handicapped people, please try to have, if you don't even just set them outside because you don't want everyone sitting, just if somebody comes, have chairs available so that people can sit down, because oftentimes we're sitting for long or standing rather in long lines for a long amount of time. And it's not that I'm trying to get in front of anybody, but it's painful to be out there, particularly if you are, if you got a whole bunch of conditions and you're standing in line trying to get your medication because you're out of your medication and you're like, okay, you know, and my problems aren't no bigger than anybody else's problems. So it's not like, you know, I need to go ahead of you because you could have a whole situation that I can't see that's giving you the same type of pain or worse that I'm going through. So, you know, we have to be as kind and as patient and tolerant. And the people who were there, these heroes, these sheroes, these wonderful, wonderful people who come in, not just because they have to support their families, because forget that, it's not just about your family at this point, it's about your life. Like, they're essential. And we don't see, if you ever get an opportunity, look up Martin Luther King's Christmas sermon on peace. I forget what year it is, but it'll come up. In that speech, he talks about how we can't get up in the morning. Hey, Ken Beecham. Hey, Penelope. You can't get up in the morning and start your day without depending on half the world. The mattress that you're laying on was assembled and built in another country. The pillow that has your duck feathers in it came from another country. You get up and go to the bathroom, and all of the wood and tile that you have in your bathroom is Italian, and you have marble from another country, and you use a soap and cream scrub that is from the Caribbean, and you get in with your sea salts that are from some cave in another South Pacific island, and you get into your Japanese car to go to your job that's outsourced to India, the rest of it. So we have to be mindful. We depend on a lot of people. You know, as Americans, we can be very arrogant, but we don't make much of anything here. We depend on the rest of the world for everything, for just about everything, for a lot of things. And yeah, they depend on us for some stuff, mostly our status and our clout, but we have to be mindful now. Like the lady in the store said today, she said, look, this is the thing that it doesn't matter who gets it. The kings and queens and the royalty and all the way down to the homeless. It doesn't matter. So we are equal in that. We are very equal in that. Yeah, it's nicer than sacrificial. You're absolutely right. And I hate, because, you know, there are people who's in, I think I was talking to, no, I don't think I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and they were saying, we were discussing the essential workers, and it's not a easy decision. It's not an easy, like, from the fireman all the way down to, like, did you think that the bodega would be essential sometimes? We realize these things in times like this when there's scarcity, and this is just, we aren't at the end yet. We're not there yet. We're still somewhere in the middle trying to figure our way out. So we still need some patience and tolerance. What's going on to Kenya? Lisa, Tia, Siobhan Walker, Kinsey. Thank you guys for joining the conversation. Please share the video. And if you have not already done so, if you are in here and you have not, I'm gonna go and check. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, there will be consequences and repercussions. No, I'm kidding. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will post it in the comments. If anybody knows about the Android update last night, it wiped out everything I had memorized, because I usually have it in my clipboard and everything. But Here's the thing that I want to get to, because we haven't even gotten to the topic of conversation yet. We just talking about that. And once again, shout out to everybody who's here: Siobhan, Eve, Lisa, Tia, Michael Gibbs, Kim Beecham, everybody. Thank you guys for checking in. My niece Desaya, Amanda Nicole, Jenkins Watkins, everybody, Iris, everybody, Benny Roman, Yvette Carroll. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Please share the video and please go to the YouTube pages. It's the same thing. I'm Real Devious on YouTube. Look that up. It's got the little blue colors and stuff. Just go ahead and subscribe. You don't even have to do the notification thing. I'm trying to get to a certain number so I can do some other stuff. I want to show y'all something. So help me out with that. All right. But this is something that I want to say. Like a friend of mine, someone that I know, let me not say that, but a friend of mine sent me some information, and she was, I guess she was just trying to send me information to keep me aware of what was going on. And it was information about the 5G situation. I don't even know if that's a situation, but it was a video on the theory that the coronavirus is not a virus at all. It is the effects of radiation from the 5G towers that they will be installing all over the world. Yada, yada, yada. You all have heard that. I've heard it. You've heard it. There we go. Hey, Conrad, what's going on, sir? So she sent me this, and here's the thing. Whether that's true or not, okay? Whether that's true or not. And I am not a radiologist. I'm not an entomologist. I am not an epistemologist. I'm not any type of ologist. So me sitting up making suppositions about it, in my estimation, is really, really moot. Now, I can have thoughts about it, but I'm not going to adapt it to my belief system because, for what? I have no proof. To me, that is the same. To me, that's religion. Again, like I have a religion already. I don't need to do that again. If I want to subscribe to something without any proof, I can do that. But stop. So my question there, because again, she said this to me, it was like late at night. It was like a weird hour. I want to say it was like past 10 o'clock at night, which was weird to me. Even though now, like the hours and stuff, like people really ain't even, it's been like Monday for 3 weeks. So people not really keeping up with the time or anything like that. But it was just weird a little bit. She's a married woman, but we worked together. We worked together for a long time. That was my dude. That is my dude. So my thing to her was this, because I know her. Assalamu alaikum, Daryl. My thing was this. I asked her, I said, why do you need for there to be a conspiracy? Because why? I'm not saying there is or isn't. I'm just asking this question, mostly because I'm an asshole. But again, I do need an answer to this question at the same time. Excuse me, because it was mad random. I was in my bed asleep, and because you came into my bedroom at this time of night, I'm here for it. So why do you feel the need to be, why do you need it to be a conspiracy was what I asked her. She never answered that question, but she did go on to say, oh, you don't think it's a conspiracy? I said, well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm going to listen to doctors. Because the people that she said in the video, they weren't doctors, they were reporters. And that brings me to my point for tonight. We have a tendency to take people and move them into a position that they haven't earned, to move them into a position that they don't know how to really do. This is not a position that they should be filling, i.e. the president. We have a tendency to move people into these positions, and we're not sure if they should be there. And I'm not saying necessarily by voting them in. What's up, sweet Mahasan? Assalamu alaikum. I'm not saying, necessarily a position like a a position to fill, like Secretary of State or something like that. I'm saying in our heads. In our heads, oftentimes we put people in places that they should not be. Oftentimes, these are places that these people haven't even asked to be. Oftentimes, these are places that these people will not respect the space of. Where are we going with this? We often place, and it's us. Everything begins and ends with us. Isn't that wonderful? Because we have the power to choose whether, how much, if at all, we are going to participate in any given situation. So when I say it begins and ends with us, we put people in a position that they may not necessarily have earned. We meet somebody, they say they want X, Y, and Z. They want this, they want that. We trying to get to know them, yada, yada, yada. Everything sounds good. You still have to know that, you know, for the first X amount of time, depends on the people. You're meeting their ambassador. People gonna tell you what they want, what they think you want to hear oftentimes. Because we're going to do it too. We're going to tell people what we think they want to hear. We're going to tell people what it is we think they want to hear in order to get what it is we think we want. Here's the problem. In our minds, we create a space, right? We create this space and say, I want somebody to fill X role. Or I need somebody to fill X role if somebody filled X role. So we have this space all figured out in our head what X role is already. It could be your boyfriend. It could be your girlfriend, your best friend. It could be the type of relationship you want with your parents. We place undue expectations on our parents. We place undue expectations on our children. When oftentimes you have kids, you expect your kids to be one way. Your kid says, fuck you, I'm my own person. I'm going to be who I want to be. So we create these spaces and we title them and we have this place card and this place setting and we have the whole list of responsibilities written out. And then the person shows up and we put them in this position and we want to hold them responsible for all of these things. We want to hold them responsible for this job title because they were interested. And sometimes people could be a trip. They will feed it. Because, you know, I think I'm going to get something out of this. I'm going to try and, you know, exact what I want from this situation. So I'm going to say what I want you to say. I'm going to, you know, because this person also has an expectation. This person has also created a space, created a role, created a position. They created an expectation is what they created. Hey, Manshawn. Hey, Pretoria. Yeah, you create an expectation. So now you have somebody that you're trying to fit into this expectation. I need everybody to, I'm going to pause right here. We try to get people to fit our expectation. I want to pause that and go back to something that all of us did when most of us, many of us, probably all of us, but I'm going to say most because, you know, some of us probably may not have. There's a game that many of us played when we were children. And it has holes in the game. It's like a little table. And it's a little table and it has stars, like it's a circle and it's a star and there's a square. There's a rectangle. You know, this cylinder, there's all these different shapes, about 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe. And you have to learn as a kid. You have to learn as a kid. You have to learn as a kid. You have to learn as a kid that one of these shapes goes into one of these holes. That's the only shape that's going to go. Now, you might be able to sometimes, depending on the size, you might be able to push the circle in through the square hole. You might be able to fit something else through another hole, the vice versa, the square into the circle, circle into the square. You might be able to push it through once or twice, but you realize it doesn't fit. You realize that's not the one that it goes into. You realize this is not the place for that little block. Right? And you've played this game as a kid. You've sat there probably hours, cumulatively, fitting that square and that star and that circle and that cylinder and that rectangle, all of these things into these little, the ones that it's supposed to go into. And then when we get to be adults, we still don't realize that that person doesn't fit in this place. Because the image that we created in our head, we're going to force it through. He doesn't fit now. I'm going to work with him. You know how if you take the circle and you squeeze it a little bit in the middle, it puckers a little bit just enough so it'll slide down through the square? That's what you're doing with the people. That's what we do with the people. There are people who have pushed a circle into a square hole for more years than they can remember. There are people sitting in households where there's a square and a circle hole and a circle and a square hole, and they're going to sit right there because they too stubborn to do anything else. Exactly. Unrealistic expectations. You said it, sweet. Put the peg in the right hole. You said it, Rodney. Hey, Ariba, what's going on? No, you right in the right place. You right in the right place, sweet. You ain't even got to catch up. You responded correctly. Unrealistic expectations. We oftentimes create spaces in our head, find somebody, and try to fit them into this situation that we've created, this expectation that we've created. Why? What is it that makes us so uncomfortable? And this is oh goodness. For those of you, particularly for those of you who are single and you may not have no kids like myself, fortunately, I live there, I got family here, but there are friends of mine who I know who live by themselves, and you have to really like you right about now. You have to really like it right about now. So if you, hey, Gregory Dukes, I'm sorry, my bad. So if you are in the house with you and you don't like you probably tearing your own house up and it's nobody there but you. You haven't even worked out how to fit yourself into the whole of your life. The space that you have carved out in this universe for yourself, many of us have not even fully come to the understanding of how it is we are going to fill that space. And we are out here kidnapping, taking hostages, whatever term it is you would like to use, putting them, trying to fit them on top of that. So you got the hole is a circle. You done fit your square life on top of this circle. And now somebody got a rectangle banging it on top like this. It ain't nothing happening. Hey, Miss Martinez Velez, how are you, dear heart? I love you. So, this is such a wonderful time. This is a great time for us. Whether you have family in your house, whether you are by yourself, if it's you and your spouse, you and your kids, you and whomever, if it's just you. This is the perfect time to do that work. This is the perfect time because it's time to release those expectations. What I really wanted to know, what drove me to this conversation earlier, was I really wanted to find out how many of us are going to make, and I'm not talking about when your girlfriend call you this time, you're going to really go to the club. That's not what I'm talking about when I say this. What I'm talking about is how many of us are going to make those changes. Should we come out of this? How many of us are going to make those changes that are going to change our lives entirely from the way that we were living? Because this is what I call a culling. Well, not what I call it. It's basically that. It's in our world right now. And it's not an intentional thing that, like a deliberate situation is what's going on. So there's going to be a whole different world left. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in it? Are you going to continue to carve out spaces where you're trying to fit square pieces into round holes? Or is that how we're going to continue this? Or are we going to expand? And when I say expand, I mean open yourself up to the possibility that there's more. Open yourself up to the possibility that the things that you actually truly desire can come true. Many of us spend our whole lives telling ourselves information that is negative, that is stunting, that is unmoving, that keeps us right where we are, that provides no sustenance, no fertilization, that doesn't move us forward in any direction. We'll talk ourselves out of going back to school. We'll talk ourselves out of bettering ourselves. Now think about this for a minute. If you had, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, decided I'm going back to school, you'd be finishing right about now. Even if you had to finish from home, you would have the peace and quiet to sit and do that work, to concentrate on your final year. I know some people, that's not the best environment for them, but you would be here. You would be at a prime opportune time in your life, in our lives, because this is our lifetime that this is happening, to take an inventory that is unheard of. You're going to hear me say this probably in every video at some point that I'm doing during this time period, because people are going to do what I'm about to say in different ways. And it is up to you to find out how you are going to do it. And I forget who said it. You can Google it. I'm paraphrasing, yada. Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Fear will move you one way or another. Yes, it will, sweet. Lisa said, I pray to expand. Yes, I'm tired of feeling like I'm bounded from things that I know I can do. Yeah. Many of us, we've talked ourselves. Let's look. There are people here right now who wish that they could who are not here is what I mean to say. Who wish that, who don't have that opportunity now to take out a student loan if they wanted to. They don't have an opportunity now to find out what major it is they're going to go. Oh, it's going to be hard. Yeah, you got the kids, yada, yada, yada. But this is the thing that always we have to take that next step in our thinking. We have to begin to take that next step in our thinking if you are going to take advantage of this tragedy. If you are not going to let this tragedy go to waste, you must take that next step in your thinking. Should we all be here in 5 years? Let's say this clears up in a few months. We are back out in society and we have to rebuild and regrow and recover and everything like that. 5 years from now, you could be with your next degree if you don't already have one, or with a degree if you don't have one in 5 years, or you can still continue to do what you're doing now. There are chances we got to take. There are things we got to do. Hey, Lucy. And if you can't even do it for you, if you can't find that spark in you, if you have kids, and if you don't have kids, there's somebody looking at you. You really just never know who it is, who is paying attention to you, who is going, yeah, I'm rooting for them. I want to, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it too. Oh my God, they did it. That's dope. Yeah, I think I might want to try that. We owe that to ourselves. We owe that to the rest of our community because, and I forget who said this too. You hear me quote a whole bunch of stuff. I have no idea who said it, but it rattles around in my head and comes in handy in times like this. And I just talked myself out of whatever it was I was about to say. So we are going to move on. Hey, Lisa Pearson. But yeah, we have to take advantage of this time in a way that is most productive. Many of you are homeschooling your kids. That is a wonderful thing. Please, and you're in conversation and communication in a different way than you've ever been with your children's teachers. And thank you. I'm not doing shout outs. I'm too grown. Thank you to all of the teachers who are still reaching out to the students, who are still sending packets and offering their help, who are still sending out emails and finding links to help their students, and who are still grading work and who are still making themselves available 24 hours a day, who are still getting these parents' calls talking about, I have no idea what this is, could you help? Who are still fielding these calls while they're at home. And they have if you're a high school teacher, you got more than 30. You have anywhere between 75, 100 kids. If you got 3 or 4 periods worth of kids and you have 20 kids in each class, which is a low number, that's 80 kids. You're fielding calls from could be, let's say if it's a 2-parent household and every 2 parents called you, it's 160 people. Minimum 80, max 160 people that could be calling you about these kids, about these children. So thank you. Thank you to the lady at the bodega. Thank you to the people at Home Depot. Thank you to all of the fire, rescue, military, yada, yada, yada. Everybody who's out there who's still working. And it is for that reason. So I just want to give yourself a break. There's a lot of videos out there, not videos, memes about 2020. Remember last year, everybody, 525,600 minutes ago. This was everybody's year. Everybody's, yeah. It can still be for many of us. And that needs to be your plan. That really needs to be all of our plan, to come out of this still ready, willing, all who are able. Dow Jackson, peace. Assalamu alaikum. So I don't even know. Take this time to find out what it is you want to do. Find out 2 things. If you don't know, because of some of us, all of our lives, we've been that peg pushed into a hole. Some people have been. There's some people who've been pushed into a completely different hole all their lives, and they've been comfortable in. Now is the time to find, and I don't mean this in any other way except, figuratively. Find whatever niche it is for you. Find out what you're good at, and find out what you like. Those are the 2 things that you need to move forward. If you don't know those things already and you're in my age group, it's still not don't ever believe that it is too late to find these things out. So with that, I think I am going to say good night. I thank you all for watching. Again, I'm going to post my YouTube link. If you have watched this video and you have not subscribed to I'm Real Devious on YouTube, please do so tonight. Please do so tonight. Please do so tonight. Subscribe to the YouTube page, which will unlock some new features for me so that I can bring new content to you. See how that works? One hand washes the other and both hands wash the face. That's how that go. I also want to say thank you to Tanya and Ramin Veltz, who continue to help people who many people are helping. If you need a beautiful handmade face cover, see Marie Thompson, Sweetie. She makes them. Who else do I need? There's somebody else's business that And if you have a business and you want to post it and you need some promotion, particularly at this time, if you do something that is through the mail or online and can provide a service for people who can't get out, please post it in the I'm Real Devious production, the promotions group, the marketing and promotions group. Don't post it in the other group if you're in both, but post it in the it says it, I'm Real Devious promotions, yada. So post it in that group so that people will know that you have these services available so that we can support you. Hey, Moses, what's going on? So that we can support you. If you have a streaming service, if you have a show, some entertainment that people can tune into that will help, lift their mood, Post it in the promotions group, in the I'm Real Devious promotions group. If you have anything that will help alleviate people's anxiety, depression, cabin fever, whatever, stress at this time, please post it in the promotions group. Hey, Aprella, please post it in the promotions group so that we can help each other. Okay? And if you have donations, you can send, please inbox Tanya and Ramin for food to send them, if you want to send food donations, or you can cash app money if that's even better. They can always do that because they will still go and even cook for the people if they have to. So, and if there's anybody else who has a business and needs promotion or wants me to mention it and would like me to talk about it here, please inbox me with the information and we will do that. We need connections right now. People need connections. There are a lot of people who are going to meetings and fellowshipping and things like that through various apps and everything like that. If you are a person who is in touch with an older person and they have a smartphone, a smart device, and they don't know how to use it, take 15, 20 minutes and show them how to contact other people in their lives so that they can reach out, so that they aren't feeling depression and anxiety and loneliness and things like that, because it's a little tough on everybody. If you've already been shut in and now you're shut in and locked down, sometimes even if you can't leave the house, it's the mental thing that now I can't really leave the house. Like, even if I wanted to, I can't leave. And that really is what messes a lot of people up. So please, in this time, reach out to people. Hey, Felina, reach out to people. If you're with an older person who doesn't know how to use technology, set aside some time and help them get through that technology so that they are, more comfortable using it, because this is where we are. I went to a few places, and because of social distancing and having contactless transactions, if you don't have a card with some money on it, you can't even use it. At the pharmacy today, they were like, we're not taking cash. And they wouldn't even touch your card. You had to put it down on the table. They took the information, wrote it down. You had to flip the card. They flipped it over, but they would not pick it up. So this is the world. Earth is the place that I live, but love is the space that we now have to give. Thank you, Aprella. Thank you so much for the Born Day wishes. And everybody, OMG, thanks to everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate all of it. You guys rock. Even though I was home for the most part, mowing the lawn and stuff like that, my sister came over with the kids. They brought cupcakes and peach cobbler and ice cream and things like that. So we had an awesome time. It was really cool. I did not feel like, now even somebody, and I said it myself, somebody was like, you're not going to get to have your parade of birthday parties. I've partied. That's why if you look on my page too, there's a picture someone gave me for my birthday. And it's that picture from Good Times, and the opening of Good Times, with everybody's, frozen in this beautiful, moment. To me, that is the most awesome. That when I first saw it, I had such a connection to that painting the first time that I saw it on Good Times as a kid. I was like, oh my God, I just remember thinking I've got to get to that type of place. I don't know what that is. I didn't even understand the concept of what that, I just do party because, I come from a family of people dance and party, a little bit. So I understood what it was, and I was like, I have got to make it, to a place like that. And I've been so blessed in my 47 years to have been in many rooms like that. I can't say that I missed a thing, and I'm not missing a thing now. I am really, really grateful. I'm very happy. I'm extremely pleased. And I appreciate each and every one of you, my friends at the bottom. Half of them forgot. And what's funny is the people who forgot are the people who I talk to every day. I thought that was or most often, not every day, but people who I talk to most often, I thought that was the funniest thing. But we talk anyway. It's so cool. It's whatever. I know that they love me, but you know what I'm saying? I know that all you guys watching do. So I appreciate that. I love you guys for watching. We will have more conversations. Again, please subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm trying to bring y'all more shows and things, but I need you guys to go ahead. I need at least 100 people. So I need you and your girlfriend, or you and your boyfriend, or you and your kids to go ahead and do that. Get somebody else who who got a YouTube account, and get their phone real quick and just subscribe to my. They won't even know because for what? And just subscribe like real quick, because I'm only like 20 people away, and then I could like do, because I want to bring y'all like this story hour. You said yours is the 24th. As you know, we can have a party with some what to make a match. You have so much material to donate. Okay, that's what's up. You need to see Sweetie, so I'm going to let her know. I'm gonna tag her in that comment so that you guys can get together. All right, Melissa Knight, what's up? But we're about to get out of here. Once again, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for watching. Please share the video. Please share the video. Again, please share the video. Please share the video. Again, please share the no. But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. I'm Real Devious on YouTube. Please subscribe to that. I just need a few more y'all, and we could be doing some sexy late night type something. You know what I mean? So, with that said, I'm Real Devious. I'm about to get out of here. You guys have been a blast, as always. I love you for watching. I thank you for listening. And if you do have to go outside, remember, if you should happen to trip on this road of life, and you should happen to trip and fall, the harder you fall, the higher you bounce. Remember that when you're tripping. And try not to trip too hard. We gonna make it. We'll get it. We have the capacity to get through this. We've done it before. We have the capacity. Let's just have the intelligence as well. Okay? With that said, would you say don't feel bad? We have fun every day, whether it's with people or night. What was, we don't have to, remember that old song, was it from the 80s? We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh no, we can dance and party all night and drink some juice. I got some grape juice, and that is all that I am drinking. Y'all drink what you want. I'm about to get out of here. I'm Real Devious. Shout out to everybody. Y'all be safe. I will see you next Tuesday, unless y'all unlock my my YouTube account for me. Y'all unlock my YouTube, and I will come back to y'all as soon as I possibly can. All right? I'll see y'all there. I want to go live straight from there, so let's get on there. All right? Once again, thank you again for the birthday wishes. Man, y'all are the dopest. Like, truly, truly, truly the dopest. This has been, even being in the house, this has been like one of the best birthdays ever. It's really calm, really serene. I had so much fun being at home. I really, really did. So y'all have a good night. Be safe. I'm Real Devious. It has been a stone cold groove. Soul.